Thanks. Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming. What else are you going to do on a day like this? You're not going to go sailing. Okay, so this is going to be a shambles because I'm going to talk to some degree about what the last people just talked about. Thank God they're gone because they know so. They did the graduate school sort of version. I'm going to do the third grade version. What I really want to talk about is sort of in this in a world of exploding marketing messages, which we have just the sheer volume of it, some lessons that we've learned about standing out and about getting noticed. And as I say, they gave you numbers and really very, very convincing scientific studies. I'm going to give you we thought this was cool. So that's kind of where we are. So the first question is, are we becoming oversaturated with commercial messages? This first slide is brought to you by Windows Phone reinvented, around you, and by Kraft Mac and Cheese. You know you love it. I was going to do this for every slide, and the people in my house said, no, don't do that. Everyone will leave. The fact is that we are getting sort of, by almost any measure, overwhelmed with marketing messages. Studies, I mean, these are kind of slippery because it's very, very difficult to measure this, but studies that were done back in the 70s and early 80s, if you sort of take a conglomeration of them, basically they said in the US, and I think it was probably not dramatically different anywhere, anywhere in Europe anyway, people were seeing about 600 to 1,600 advertising messages a day. They were exposed to that many. And today, every estimate is exponentially higher than that. In fact, the Association of National Advertisers in the US, which represents every big brand, figures it's up to 5,000 a day. And a study that was done just a few years ago, 60% of the respondents said advertising was out of control. 65% felt like they were being bombarded by advertising messages. And 70% said that they would buy products and services to avoid advertising. And it's interesting because people don't hate advertising. They understand the value of it. They understand that a lot of it's important to them, that they learn things from it. They understand that it pays for the media they use. What they don't like is bad advertising, and they don't like being bored and interrupted and annoyed. In fact, this January, a study came out. 70% of the people who were questioned said that repeated or unsolicited messages annoy them enough to give them a negative impression of the advertiser. On the other hand, the same survey said that 60% would share some personal information to get more targeted advertising, and 8% said they'd share their underwear size. So here's a couple of things we've learned. One thing that we do now is we don't ever start with advertising. And I want to show you one interesting case. I think it's interesting. A guy that we knew from Coke went to work for this co-op of carrot farmers. They grow about half the carrots in North America. It's a huge co-op. And he came to us and said, so we got carrots. Will you help us market them? They're healthy. And we said, yeah, okay, well, we know that everybody knows they're healthy. So we tried to look at it a little bit harder. And one thing we discovered is that the market for carrots in the US is about $900 million a year. The market for snack food is about $22 billion a year. So we said, okay, we're in the wrong arena here. So we made them into snack food. They were able to create a product that were these small carrots. We called them baby carrots, and we packaged them like snack food. We marketed them in the test markets like snack food. We said, eat them like junk food. We hit people over the head if they didn't. We said the original orange doodles. So we tried to create a real sort of attitude toward this. We even made vending machines, and these went in some schools. We only made enough to get a lot of press, but they went in schools, and it got a lot of press. We made these for Halloween. They're scarrots. We sent some to the White House. We heard that Michelle Obama actually handed them out, but she wouldn't let us talk about it, probably because of the chocolate lobby. It got an enormous amount of press, and it was interesting because we were in 3 test markets in the US, and we went back to the client, who are carrot farmers, and said, okay, here's what the traffic numbers are in the test markets, here's the press we're getting in the test market, and what they said to us, and this is an actual quote, is, we're going to need more carrots. That's one thing that we believe in. Another thing that we believe in is cheating when we have to. Part of what we try to do is make commercial messages feel as much like content as we can. and a lot of times we have to redo it over and over. This is one example that we had to have many iterations of it before the channel would actually buy it, that it wasn't advertising. And it's for a gambling site in the UK called Paddy Power. Channel 4 in the UK broadcasts horse racing. Horse racing is big betting. So they wanted to be on that. So this is what they did.
Hugely competitive Roland Merrick.
And now for a quick break with Paddy Power. Danny Hollowell wrote on the Paddy Power Facebook wall, "I'm all about getting a proper look at the horse before I put a bet on." Well, we hear you, Danny, so here's a closer look for you. And the jockey leading him down to the start there. And oh dear. Oh, he's going to have to get him to settle, and settle quickly. Yeah. Well, not to worry, Danny. Paddy Power is offering money back on all losing horses in 2 races today and every Saturday this month. Bet online, on mobile, and in shops. Paddy Power, we hear you, Danny.
Well, a lovely day up at Weatherby.
So that was actually a part of the broadcast. And the thing about that is you can't bore people. We made 30 of these because I think the biggest mistake an awful lot of advertisers and agencies, including us, make is they don't keep up their end of the conversation. You can't keep saying the same thing and have it be a conversation or have anyone be interested. So we tend to do a lot of creative. And as I said with this, there are people who are watching these horse races. You can't keep saying the same thing. So we made 30 of them. Luckily, they didn't cost a lot. Another thing that we believe is that ads are good, but inventions are better. Domino's is a client of ours, and we do a lot of different kinds of advertising for them, a lot of broadcast. But probably the thing we've done for them that has been the most successful in terms of a marketing tool for them has been this little pizza tracker. It came from our IT people. Domino's gathers this big data, amazing data. They know through their system if you call them or if you go online and order a pizza, they know who's making it, when it goes in the oven, when it's going to be done, when it's given to the delivery person, they know all this stuff. So we said, let's take this data and give it to people. So when you order a pizza in the US from Domino's, they have this pizza tracker that can go on the bottom of your computer screen or the bottom of your TV in a lot of systems, and it tells you, okay, Jeff just put your pizza in the oven, and now he gave it to Wendy, who's going to bring it over. And we thought this was just a cute little thing. And what we found, we got amazing feedback from this. Sales went to the moon, and people were actually watching it. People would put their kids in front of it and say, tell us when it's coming, and they'd watch it. So it became an amazing marketing tool for them. So we reskinned it a bunch of times. This is if you're watching a sporting event, or if you're on the shopping channel, or if you're watching soap operas. And it was comparatively cheap in terms of dollar value. It's clearly the best thing we've ever done for them. Another thing we believe in is finding a global truth. There are certain kinds of clients and certain kinds of product introductions that have to be big. And when they have to be big, that pretty much always means broadcast. And if it's global, it pretty much means trying to find some idea that will work globally. And this is a product we introduced a couple of years ago, and we did marketing research, or actually planning, in 17 different countries, and we found an amazing thing about this particular product category is that every culture in every country shared one particular point of view about this product. So that's the sort of the lever that we used to make this work.
Really?
It's time for a phone to save us from our phones. New Windows Phone, designed to get you in and out and back to life.
We just had a really detailed scientific discussion of what makes things go viral by people who know way more about it than I do. I'm going to give you sort of the learner's version, because you look at YouTube, see what goes viral. And you have to remember, there's 72 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every minute. So it's sort of crazy, and obviously most things never go viral. But you know, they were actually doing at a graduate school at Wharton in the US, where I'm on a board, they were doing a study, and they gave Wharton a whole bunch of money to decide what goes viral, which is what these people were doing. I said, I think it's puppies and babies and people falling in pools. It's more complicated than that. This is Kevin Aloka. He's the YouTube Trends Manager at Google. What he does is follow what goes viral at YouTube all day, every day. And basically, he's come up with 3 characteristics that he's identified. And again, this is a little more elementary than we heard, but I think it's usable. And the 3 characteristics are, first of all, tastemakers. So if you can get Lady Gaga to tweet about your product, that's one of the characteristics that will make it go viral. But I think that there's a point there that if Lady Gaga is tweeting about General Electric jet engines, it's probably going to get less traction than if she's tweeting about Jimmy Choo's shoes or something like that. It's the celebrity phenomenon, and we use it, and everybody uses it, but I think the real key to it is using it where it makes sense and where it actually helps the story that you're telling. I want to show you one spot we did for Best Buy. We came up together with Best Buy with a program for them. People don't like to buy new technology because they think, okay, there's going to be something new right after this. So we came up with a program where you can trade in your old thing and get the new thing when the new technology comes out. And we use celebrities for it, but we tried to pick the right celebrities. This is a commercial.
Welcome to 4G. Don't touch my hair, man.
All right. This is the new version. This is 5G.
No, now it's 4G.
It's just 5G. So
Okay,
now it's 5G.
This is 5G, I think.
It's a 5G.
What you talking about?
Just a 5G. Just
I'm
say a
getting
5. Just
pretty
say
damn
5G.
All aboard the 5G train. How many bloody G's are there?
I'll take it from here.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna lose Ozzy. Bring in the new one.
Marker.
Ozzy's in the background, guys.
What?
He's in the background.
Is this the way out?
The new buyback program. You buy it now, we buy it back when it's time to upgrade.
It's Bieber, 6G Fever.
What's a 6G?
What the f***'s a Bieber?
I don't know, kind of looks like a girl.
The second thing that he identified as a characteristic of things that go viral, if there's a community of participation, if people can play with it and be involved with it. And I think a couple of years ago, we did a thing for Burger King that probably is the best thing that we've done that incorporates that. It was called the Whopper Sacrifice, and it was on Facebook, and if you unfriended 10 people, you got a coupon for a free Whopper. It was sort of interesting, and your friends, we told your friends, when you unfriended them, we said, you know, I'm unfriending you because I like you, but I like Whoppers better. It was kind of interesting. 20,000 people played. About 250,000 people got unfriended during the 10 days of the promotion, and then we pulled it. And there were great rumors that went around that, like, Facebook made us pull it because people were getting unfriended. Unfriend actually became a word. But the really interesting thing is that during the 10 days the program was running, we got about $13 million worth of free media impressions. Once it got pulled, we got almost $40 million worth of people wondering how come this got pulled. We don't answer that. The third thing that he identified, which I think is the most important thing, and I think it's probably where art and science diverge, is unexpectedness. I think it's impossible to model or predict unexpectedness. And I think unexpectedness is the reason that advertising agencies still exist, because they can create that. I mean, there's big data and predictive analytics. We believe in analytics. David Henry, our analytics guy, is probably the smartest guy in the agency. But I think that analytics can only do so many things. I mean, when you get together, you know, the big data that we have today, and you get a bunch of MDAs, they want to model the shit out of everything. But I would say this: what kind of predictive modeling would have predicted this?
Gangnam Style. Op, 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 op on Gangnam Style. Hey, sexy lady. Op, op, op.
I mean, what I see there is hilarity, one of the arousal emotions or whatever they were. I'm not sure I see much else, but I want to show you a couple of things that we're doing for a client that I showed you before, Paddy Power. And this runs in the UK, but I think that this work really sort of demonstrates some of the things that make things go viral. Unexpectedness, kind of irreverence, although I don't remember irreverence being up there. Maybe hilarity, if you think it's hilarious, some people do. The brand welcomes you in. I wrote that down while they were talking. The brand definitely welcomes you in. Basically, we use, Paddy Power is, I think I said, a betting site in the UK and some other countries in Europe. Some of this stuff is very sort of Brit-centric, so like Chav and Cheltenham and stuff like that. If you don't understand it, ask the person in the same row as you from Great Britain, and they'll explain it. But I think that this campaign has been an interesting campaign because, like I say, I think inadvertently it's hitting a lot of those buttons. This is one of the commercials.
Dan Collins wrote on the Paddy Power Facebook wall, "Hope the Chavs don't ruin Cheltenham like they did Ascot." We hear you, Dan. We'll sort them out veterinary style. Look at this guy. Bit of a tool. One shot and he's down. For Jazzlers, no! Down they go. Goodbye. And this bilth bag needs sorting out. Look at him. Oh, no, it's all right. There's always some collateral. No. Down you go, my orange friend. Bang, bang. Dead. They're not quite dead, tranquilized. The coast is clear, Dan. You can enjoy a chav-free Cheltenham, courtesy of Paddy Power, the classy mobile app for civilized people and the Irish. We hear you, Dan Collins.
You know, Chavs is a little controversial, and I think Paddy Power probably couldn't do a commercial like that if somebody hadn't done a tweet that said, "I hope the Chavs sell." Anyway, we're responding to that. I want to show you one more commercial we did. This is when we were introducing Paddy Power to Italy. It ran for one day and then it got pulled. It ran at a time when there was an awful lot of controversy about matches being fixed in the Italian league. So here's the commercial.
Marco Manis wrote on the Paddy Power Facebook page, "Betting on Italian football? Only if a miracle heals it." Well, we hear you, Marco, and we've been praying for you. And our prayers have been heard. The crippled, miraculously healed. Empty stadiums? Not anymore. And the match fixers out of the temple. Bet on resurrected football at paddypower.it, the new online and mobile betting service. We hear you, Marco.
I want to show you one other thing, because obviously events are a big deal, and Paddy Power, I think any smart marketer gets involved in that. If you can get involved in it in a way that that everything they just said happens. People find it interesting or funny, and they share it. At the last Ryder Cup, I'll show it to you. Paddy Power got a bunch of airplanes.
7 birdies for Team USA, 2 for Europe. That just about tells the story.
Up in the sky, do it for Sevi, go Europe.
I thought we'd seen everything we could see on the first tee of a Ryder Cup, but today we've seen some other stuff.
Rory having a chuckle at something there.
Give my phone, I want to take a picture of this. Oh, he's going to get that. Thanks, fellas.
Oh, what a comeback from Europe! Oh my goodness gracious me!
Europe have mounted the greatest comeback in Ryder Cup history.
If you need the number for those planes, I have it. We've been working with Paddy Power for a little bit less than a year, and the numbers have been pretty good. Active customers and bet volume are up over 45%. Likes on Facebook when we started were 30,000. As of yesterday, they were 882,000. And yesterday, 250,000 people were talking about the Paddy Power work. So I think that, I don't know, kind of my bottom line is this, that in this world, which is crazy saturated and getting more saturated, what I think is that going the safe route is probably the least safe thing you can do. Thanks.